A very good morning and welcome back to another daily market update where I discuss all the major pairs and of course your favorite potential trade opportunities in combination with the fundamentals. My name's Fabio, guys, and thank you for tuning in. Now we're going to start off with EURUSD and see where the market is likely going to be heading next. But before I do, quick update on the fundamentals, guys, because today is a massive day within the markets. Last night we had the Bank of Japan announce its policy rate, and we also had a monetary policy statement where the governor of the Bank of Japan announced that upcoming rate changes will be very dependent on the upcoming economic data. So we need to keep a close eye on inflation in Japan and unemployment, for example, as these are going to be the real drivers behind the next leg up or down on the Japanese yen. Furthermore, we also have the federal funds rate in the United States being dropped this evening, Central Eastern Time, 7 p.m. And we also have the press conference, which are going to be moving the markets. Now, looking here at EURUSD on the weekly time frame, we can see that we are still pretty much near this area of weekly supply. We grabbed the liquidity above that high over here, and that is currently causing the market to slow down and to provide us with a potential pullback trading opportunity. Now, we do not want to jump the gun because, again, guys, the overall order flow here on EURUSD is still bullish. And what do I mean with the overall order flow? So when I look at the overall order flow, I look at the demand or the supply zones that are currently in control. So what I identify first of all here is that we have this area of demand. Okay, so this demand zone is a valid area of demand as it broke this fractal high. And fractal structure is, again, guys, for all of you who watch my videos more regularly, it's just a market structure based on individual candlesticks. So you see a push up, a push down, a push up, a push down, another push up. Now again, the overall imbalanced candles over here are now in control and are now our current area of demand. So as long as this overall area of demand on the daily, so these two imbalanced candles hold price and prevent it from dropping down any lower, we should push up higher. At the moment, this fractal low is currently your respected low, and as long as that low is respected, I'm only interested in further upside. Once that low goes, then I'll be interested in a deeper correction in towards the downside. Okay, so for myself, that is how I form my immediate bias, looking at the daily fractal structure, looking at that daily order flow. On the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we are currently consolidating in the anticipation of the rate announcement, so later today, and that will eventually move the market, because for now there's not really any trend here on EURUSD. You can see that we're just kind of slowly ascending. Yes, we're pushing maybe a little bit higher, but overall there's not real movement within the market. So for myself, I'm currently staying out of the market and then waiting to see what those interest rate decisions are going to be, what is going to be said in that FOMC press conference, and then I'll have an idea what I want to be taking tomorrow or in towards next week. Okay, so that's currently what I'm waiting for. All structure is being invalidated here on the lower time frame on EURUSD as well. You can see that there was a nice uptrend, to be honest, to be able to capitalize on, but then yesterday we saw here a sweep of the lows. This reversal in towards the highs was actually based on the announcement that Germany accepted that 500 billion euro investment into infrastructure and defense. That is what caused a massive boost on the euro, but now you can see that euro dollar has been pushing back down lower again, grabbing more liquidity. Everybody that went long over here is now getting stopped out. So a lot of manipulation going on. That's why personally I'm just going to be staying out and waiting for that interest rate decision. Market is consolidating, and once we know what the interest rates are going to do, what the FOMC press conference explains us about the market, then we'll have a much more clear picture to paint the overall next direction for EURUSD. Now, going into the dollar, you can also see this back in the dollar because the dollar is consolidating as well. What's happening here is that we are manipulating, guys. Here we manipulate the high, here we manipulate the low, and then we reverse again. So it's just sweeping highs and lows. Again, this is a market that you want to stay out of until those decisions come. Previously, this area of supply was in control. Then we had this area of supply that was in control. And then again, we had this area of supply that was in control. However, this is where the manipulation starts, because here you can see sweep of the highs. Then again, here you see a sweep of the lows. So this is just a market that you want to stay out of as of now. Dollar is consolidating, and don't try to be smart. You just need to wait until the news drops, and then we'll have a much more clear picture to paint, and it will help us understand where we want to head next. Yes, we are seeing a descending correction at the moment, which is more often than not a sign that the market is going to reverse up higher. But again, it's completely random what the news will do. But a pullback obviously up higher would not be unfavorable. Let's keep an eye on this high over here. Maybe we sweep that high, and then I'll again look for further downside. Still interested in for the downside from the dollar itself for the upcoming weeks, but a short-term pullback would not necessarily be an issue for myself. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on the dollar myself. We're still at this weekly swing low over here, which is liquidity. That's why we're currently slowing down. So yes, a pullback might be due soon, but again, it's going to be very dependent on what the news does today, because if the news is, for example, that we're going to be cutting those interest rates, then you'll just see a straight drop from the dollar further in towards the downside. So let's wait, and yeah, we'll just capitalize on the overall trend that is going to form. Looking at AU has started to make a nice pullback, obviously here on the weekly time frame after sweeping this low, which I've been talking about for quite some time. We have a ranging market. When the market is ranging, stick to the extremes. Here we're sticking to the extreme lows, so we want to buy. Here we stuck to the extreme highs, so we wanted to sell. So I'm only still interested in potential buys. Weekly time frame is still fractal bullish. Looking at the fractal structure, I'll just draw in those lines. We can still see that this here is my fractal low, this here is my fractal high. So this is the bullish range that we're trading inside of. So still based on the weekly, looking for further upside, and now on the daily as well, we're forming a nice order flow. We retrace back down in towards that daily area of demand, still looking for the market to push up from that demand zone. Obviously, again, it's going to be dependent on what the news does today, but if we get some good news, then I'll be looking to capitalize on further longs in towards the upside. For myself, there's no real area of supply over here. That's why I'm just targeting the high itself as my next target for AU. If the interest rate, for example, or if in the statement of Powell, he says some good things for the dollar and we do see a lower drop, then I'll just look for new buys from these lower prices once the overall fractal structure shifts again, just so you guys know. So yeah, this is a nice area to long. Normally I would be looking for longs actively now, but with the news, I am staying out. Personally, if you want to get into those long positions on AU, just wait for the 4-hour fractal structure shift. So here we have a low. This kind of like supply zone is now in control. So this is now the fractal high. Wait for the fractal high that broke this fractal low to break, because then we have a shift in the overall trend, and then we form an area of demand from where we can then look for longs, and then you guys can start scalping on the lower time frame as well. So going into GBPUSD next, GU itself is also very similar to EURUSD, where it is consolidating and ascending. A lot of manipulation going on once again, no real clear direction being chosen yet. Yes, guys, we have an overextended push in towards the highs. And then we have the ascending correction more often than not. So let's say in 60 or 70% of the times, you'll see a downside correction happen. But guys, the overall order flow on the daily time frame is still bullish, very similar to EURUSD. So only when or once this low goes, this fractal low goes, that is when I'll be interested in a potential short position and be looking for those potential shorts. Okay, so until then, only longs, and once this fractal low goes, then I'll be looking for shorts. That is the immediate market structure that we have. Yes, we're inside weekly supply. Yes, we're inside daily supply. But guys, only look for shorts when we have confirmation. No FOMO, because otherwise you could have got caught up in this daily bearish candle, these daily bearish candles, or maybe even in this daily bearish candle, and then you just see another rocket in towards the highs. Wait for the confirmation, and the confirmation for myself is the fractal structure shift. Yes, we already have supply. Now we just need to wait for that fractal structure shift to happen as well. 4-hour time frame is too unclear. When the market is consolidating on a lower time frame, go up a time frame and then understand the overall bigger picture. And then for myself, the bigger picture is the fact that we're currently sitting inside daily demand. Okay, so yeah, let's just wait for that, and then once the 4-hour trend starts to form, then we can get in on that. Or if we see again that the news is bearish for the dollar, then we'll just try and get in on some more long opportunities. But overall, yeah, let's just wait and see what this daily demand zone does and what the news does as well. Going into NZDUSD, we can see that NU is also correcting down lower, which is exactly as we pretty much just anticipated. NU is a little bit different to AU in the sense that it already moved a little bit harder. What we can see here is that we're inside of weekly supply. So this weekly supply zone is what could cause the market to start pulling back in towards the downside. Well, it's kind of already doing that. Now looking at the 4-hour time frame, I was looking for a 4-hour fractal structure shift to get that potential shorting opportunity. Sadly, we did not. Yeah, overall, all the targets on NU have been smashed in towards the highs. Looking at the daily real quick, what I want to say to you guys is that the daily is still bullish. So I'm still interested in longs if we do retrace down a little bit deeper. This is obviously kind of like the next clear area of demand, right? This area of consolidation with the overall sell before the buy being this zone. So anywhere inside this zone, I'm happy to look for potential further upside, and then preferably being inside of here or after sweeping the lows and then looking for a long position. Okay, so that's kind of like what I'm looking for in NU. Wait for it to drop a little bit lower. Am I getting in shorts if I'm expecting the market to push down a little bit lower? No, not yet, because I need a 4-hour fractal structure shift, and the 4-hour fractal structure is currently in between this low and this high. So I would need to see this, and then for example this, and then like this. So you get like the 4-hour structural shift, and then we get in on that supply zone, then we short, for example, before then going long again. But it's not in my plan to trade a short when the 4-hour fractal structure is still bullish. So that's what I'm currently waiting for. Yeah, some further downside would be nice, because then we have some new long opportunities. So let's see what the news does. It would even be nice to sweep these lows, tap into this demand zone, and then look for new longs once again. But it will be, again, dependent on what the news does. Now, instead of gold, we're going to dive into dollar yen, because on dollar yen last night we had those interest rate decisions in Japan. It remains unchanged. That's why we're not really seeing any movement here on UJ overall. On UJ, for now, the overall order flow is still bearish. What I'm personally looking at here on UJ, guys, is this sell before the buy candle on the weekly time frame, which for me is still open. It is still untouched, and I'm looking for that to get hit. For now, we can see that the buy before the sells are in control. Here we had a buy before the sell that was in control. We tapped into it and we pushed down lower again, and now once again we have another buy before the sell over here that currently is in control on the weekly. So we understand the weekly is currently moving bearish. If I look at the daily time frame, we are also still moving bearish. We can see push down, pull back, push down, pull back, push down, pull back, push down, pull back, push down, pull back. So still looking just to follow that overall trend in towards the downside until the overall order flow breaks. So what is the overall order flow? This area of consolidation over here. If that were to break, we break this high, then I'll be interested in longs once again. But until then, only interested again in further downside to hit that weekly area of supply. And then inside of there, I'll be potentially interested in long opportunities once again. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day, and we'll speak soon.